I'm going to have a look at bounds now. And the easiest way is to draw out the number lines for each number at the start, then circle the lower and upper bounds. Now all of this next bit is common sense, but I wrote it out anyway. For a maximum addition, you add the upper bounds. For a maximum subtraction, it's the upper, take away the lower. For maximum addition, add the two lower bounds. For a minimum addition, add the two lower bounds. For a minimum subtraction, it's the lower, the biggest one, the smallest one, take away the biggest. Lower, take away upper. For maximum multiplication, you just multiply the upper bounds. For maximum division, it's the biggest number on top divided by the lower number. For minimum multiplication, just multiply the two lower numbers. And for minimum division, it's the smaller over the bigger. I'm going to say exactly what that means through a few examples. A car travels 150 miles in 2.8 hours. Now I'm going to be drawing out my number line. So I have 150 for one of my numbers, and the other number is 2.8. Now I don't know how they've been rounded yet, so I have to read further. Each measured to two significant figures. So that means that one will go up to 160, and this will go down to 140. Then do your cut-off points, which are halfway between them. 145, circle it. 155, and circle it. That's your lower bound and upper bound. This has been rounded to two significant figures too, so it's 2.9 is the next one up, and the one before it 2.7. Your halfway points, 2.75, 2.85, and circle them. I'm looking for find the range within which the speed in miles per hour could lie. Now speed is distance over time. This is your distance and this is your time. If I want my minimum speed, I will take my minimum distance and divide it by the maximum time. That will get me the smallest answer I can get. So it's the minimum distance, which is 145. The maximum time is 2.85. So dividing those through, 145 divided by 2.85 gives me an answer of 50.88. So 50.88. The question says find the range with which in the speed could lie. So now I've got to find my maximum speed. My maximum speed will be my maximum distance divided by my minimum time. So the maximum distance is 155. The minimum time is 2.75. So 155 divided by 2.75 gives me an answer of 56.36. So my speed must lie between these two values. So the minimum speed is that one, and the maximum speed is that one. SP6, sorry, is that one. Now, number 2. The diameter of a sphere is measured as 14. So we get our number line done out. That's correct to the nearest integer. Remember, integer means whole number. So the next whole number is 15, and the one before it's 13. Do your cut-offs, 13.5, 14.5, and circle them. Find the maximum volume. Now, volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Remember, you've been given a diameter, so you'll have to half those to get the radius. Now, so the volume is 4 over 3 times pi times the, I'm looking for the maximum volume, so I'm going to use the maximum here. So it's the diameter, so we take that diameter, you divide it by 2 to get your radius, then you cube it. So putting all into calculator, 14.5 divided by 2, press your equals button, cube that, press your equals button, times it by 4, times it by pi, divide it by 3, gives you a maximum volume of 1596.26 centimetres cubed. Next for example, the density and volume of a solid were measured as that. So draw out my number line, 4.56. Now that's for the density. Just write down what that is. And the volume is measured as 14.8. And let's see how they were rounded. Each were rounded to 3 significant figures. So the next one's 14.9, 14.7, and your cut-offs 14.75, 14.85. And similarly down here, 4.57, 4.55, and do your cut-offs 4.555 and 4.565. Find the range with which the mass, so we'll draw out our mass, density, volume triangle to help us there. Mass is density times volume. Now you're wanting the range, so we want the minimum mass. So the minimum mass, we multiply the two minimum values. So it's 4.555 times 14.75. So using the calculator, 4.555 times 14.75 gives you a minimum mass of 67.18625. To get your maximum mass, you'll multiply the two maximum values. So 4.565 times 14.85. So 4.565 times 14.85 gives you a maximum mass of 67.79025. So your mass must lie between these two values. Just giving your answer nice and complete at the end. And that's that question done. Number 4. A, B and C are 3 values, each correct to 3 significant figures. So we'll sort out our wee number lines here. So this one here is 23.1, 23.2's next measurement up, the one before it's 23.0. Your cut-offs 23.05 and 23.15, and that was A. B, we'll just do the same, 25.6, 25.7 up, 25.5, and do your cut-offs, 25.55, 25.65, and that was B. And C, 18.7 in the middle, the next one up, 18.8, the one before it, 18.6, 18.65, and 18.75. Question says, find the minimum value of D, where D is A plus B plus 3C. So it's a minimum value, so I'll just add up all my minimums. So it's minimum A, 23.05, plus minimum B, 25.55, plus 3 times minimum C, 18.65. Working that out, 18.65 times 3 equals, add 25.55 equals, add 23.05 equals, giving me an answer of 104.55. And last example. The values A, B and C were measured as 5.8, 2.6 and 1.3. So we'll get our wee number lines going here. 5.8, and each correct one decimal place. So 5.9 is the next one, 5.7 is the one before it, 5.75 and 5.85. That's A. B is measured as 2.6, so it's 2.6. Next one up, 2.7, one before it, 2.5, and your cut-offs 2.55 and 2.65, and that's B. And then C is 1.3. So C is 1.3. The next measurement up is 1.4. One before it's 1.2. So 1.25, 1.35. Find the maximum value of B minus A, or B minus C over A. This one does require quite a bit of thought. You want the maximum value of this. So it'll be maximum B minus C divided by minimum A. The maximum value this is going to be is taking the biggest B, and subtracting the smallest c all over minimum a. So maximum b, so I put it straight into the calculator, right space here. Maximum b is 2.65 minus minimum c, so minus 1.25 equals, divided by minimum a, 5.75. Gives me an answer of 0.243478. Should be a 0. Part 2, you can just about see in there c squared. I want the maximum value of c squared. So that's just the maximum c, 1.3 at 5, and then square it. So your answer for this one here is 1.8225. It's squashed. And I've got a couple more over the page here, just to finish it off. The minimum value of that is going to be the minimum b square rooted. And from your wee charts, the minimum b is 2.55, and just square root that. So square root 2.55 gives me an answer of 1.59687. I want the minimum value of this division. So it'll be the minimum AB over the maximum C. That'll get me that to be as small as possible, taking the smaller value and dividing it by a bigger one. Minimum AB, you multiply the two minimum values together. So 5.75 times 2.55 over the maximum value of C is 1.35. And working that out, 5.75 times 2.55 divided by 1.35 gives me an answer of 10.061. Now to get the minimum value of this is when you take the minimum on top and divide it by the biggest value on the bottom. To get a minimum subtraction, you take the smallest you can for the first number and take away the biggest you can for the second number. So the minimum of A is 5.75, the maximum of B is 2.65, divided by the maximum of C, 1.35. So 5.75 minus 2.65 equals, divided by 1.35, gives me 2.296 recurring.